Hi, my name is Shelley Schutte, and this is my presentation on critical thinking. And we started with that video. I thought that was a pretty neat video because it not only had people defining critical thinking, but it showed young people doing it as well. And that's what I'm here to talk about today is critical thinking for our little ones. And because I teach and my coworkers teach with preschool age, so we are going to be talking about that. First of all, what is critical thinking? It is the ability to make good decisions and to clearly explain the foundations for those decisions. I uploaded this picture because I thought as teachers it's always easy just to say, and as students to say go find it on the internet or use a computer somehow. And that is exactly not, that's not what critical thinking is all about. So just in this day and age, it's easy just to tell kids to do that and put them in front of a computer. So critical thinking is very important to keep our young minds going. Now, our topic is how young is too young. Since we are with the preschool age, most people will be like, critical thinking in preschoolers? How is that possible? Well, it is proven that very young children are fully capable of learning to use organized analysis to solve problems. So we are fully aware that our children do use critical thinking skills. So the benefits of critical thinking. For our age, there's many benefits for critical thinking, and some include that they build self-esteem, it lays a foundation for formal education, and it develops a lifelong love of learning. So that's always good. Now, setting the scene, that is just making sure the material and your classroom is right for this type of critical thinking for this age, because what the assignment is and how it is structured, just for any age, but especially for the preschool age, we want to make sure it's well designed. So well-designed preschool activities are stimulating, engaging, and fun. They can be if they're thought out enough. But what the material needs to be is colorful, easily understood, sequenced in small steps, game-like, and solvable in a short period of time. And that will make for a successful activity. We need to talk about 6 major thinking skills, and that's knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. And we will go more into depth here starting now. First, we're going to go over knowledge. And knowledge is remembering or recalling appropriate previously learned information to draw out factual answers. And on the right, I put, under asking the right questions, I put phrases or words that can help prompt the students to critically think. So under knowledge, some of those words would be how many, when, where, list, define, tell, describe, or identify. And an example of a question about knowledge would be, for example, how many eggs are in a dozen? That would be an example of a knowledge question. Next is comprehension, and that's grasping or understanding the meaning of informal material. And some of these words would be describe, predict, estimate, and translate. So that would be these words that you could plug in to help spark some comprehension questions. The third thing is application, and that's applying previously learned information to new and unfamiliar situations. And an example question for application would be, what do an egg and the shape of a globe have in common? That would be an example of an application question. Next is analysis, and that's breaking down information into parts or examining information. And the phrases that you could use and the words that you could use to prompt the students would be, what are the differences, separate, or arrange. Next is synthesis, and that's applying prior knowledge and skills to combine elements into a pattern not clearly there before. And an example question for synthesis would be, what might happen if a cow would lay an egg? That would be an example of a synthesis question. And lastly is evaluation, and that's judging or deciding according to some set of criteria without right or wrong answers. And asking the right questions, some of the phrases or words would be decide, select, measure, and explain. So those are the 6 steps to the thinking process. Next, I wanted to show you an example of how to, or what are some materials for preschool age to for critical thinking. And this is a great example. It's a worksheet that says that wants the preschoolers to draw a line connecting each blue figure without touching any other color. The great thing about this is that it supports critical thinking because there is more than one possibility to get the answer. There's not just one right answer. There's many possibilities. So this is a great example of the proper way to support critical thinking. Now here's in our society there are things that that discourage critical thinking, that do not support it. And one example is on the famous TV show for preschoolers, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. On that show, Minnie asks the question and has a problem, and she asks, which box would this red bow be in? And the first box is, of course, way too small. The second box looks like it fits just right, and then the third is a little big. So, which box would the bow be in? Minnie's answer was box number 2. And yes, that is a great answer, but that doesn't support critical thinking because we have to look at every possibility, and the red bow could actually fit into box 3 too. It could be in there. It might not fit the way Minnie Mouse wants it to fit, but it is a possibility, and it could fit. So box 2 or 3 would be the answer if we were supporting critical thinking. So what we've learned today is critical thinking is for our little ones too. And that is my presentation for this round. And to go along with my presentation, I also included the references because along with our book that always gives great information, I did have great websites that helped me out. I searched critical thinking with preschoolers, and many things came up, and I thought they were pretty interesting, and I'm glad I looked. So here they are for you too. And that's my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.